Did you know that about 40% of adults worldwide are living with high blood pressure? That's nearly half the population, and it puts people at serious risk for heart disease and other health problems. But here's the really interesting part. Some recent studies suggest that probiotics might actually help protect against high blood pressure. Now, scientists are still exploring exactly how changes in gut bacteria can have such a big impact on blood pressure, but the results are looking pretty promising. So in this video, we're going to break it all down for you. First, we'll talk about what probiotics actually are. Then we'll look at the research showing how they may help lower blood pressure. After that, we'll dive into the science of how they work inside your body. And finally, we'll go over the best probiotic supplements that could help keep your blood pressure in check. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. Before we dive into how probiotics can help lower blood pressure, let's start with the basics. What exactly are probiotics? Well, they're live bacteria and yeast that are actually good for you, especially for your gut and digestion. Now, when you hear the word bacteria, you probably think of germs that make you sick. But here's the thing. Not all bacteria are bad. In fact, some are really good for you, and your body actually needs them to keep your digestive system healthy and balanced. Those are what we call probiotics, the good bacteria that help your gut work the way it's supposed to. And when your gut doesn't have enough of them, things can get out of balance, which can sometimes lead to problems like diarrhea or nausea. So can probiotics actually help lower blood pressure? We all know they're great for digestion. People often take them for things like bloating, diarrhea, or other stomach issues. But when it comes to other benefits, like blood pressure, the research is still pretty new. Even so, several studies suggest there might be a real connection. In fact, people who take probiotics regularly, especially in higher doses, have seen small but meaningful drops in their blood pressure. Let's take a look at some important research on probiotics and blood pressure. A 2014 meta-analysis published in Hypertension reviewed 9 clinical trials with a total of 543 participants. On average, the studies found that probiotics lowered systolic blood pressure by about 3.5 millimeters of mercury and diastolic blood pressure by around 2.4 millimeters of mercury. The most noticeable improvements were seen in people who already had elevated blood pressure, 130/85 or higher. And here's an interesting part. Probiotics that included multiple strains of bacteria worked better than single-strain supplements. It seems that a mix of beneficial bacteria really makes a difference. Dosage matters too. The research suggests you need anywhere from 1 billion to 1 trillion bacteria per day to see results. Lower doses usually aren't enough. And here's what a 2022 umbrella meta-analysis found. Researchers pulled together 14 meta-analyses with more than 15,000 people to see how probiotics affect blood pressure. The results? Probiotics made a small but meaningful difference, lowering systolic pressure by about 2 points and diastolic by around 1.3 points. The benefits were even stronger in people over 50 and in those with high blood pressure or diabetes. They also found that probiotics worked best when taken consistently for at least 8 weeks. So it seems probiotics could have a useful role in managing blood pressure, especially for certain groups. But we still need more research to know which strains, what doses, and how long people should take them for the best results. So how do probiotics actually help bring down blood pressure? Well, researchers think they work in a few different ways. First off, they can help with cholesterol. According to the American Heart Association, probiotics may lower LDL, the bad cholesterol. And here's the interesting part. A 2015 study in the journal Medicine found that probiotics can also reduce blood lipids. When your cholesterol levels drop, your arteries stay clearer and more flexible, and that makes it easier to keep blood pressure in check. Second, probiotics can help with insulin sensitivity. When your body becomes insulin resistant, it stores more sugar as fat, and that can push your blood pressure higher. But here's the good news. A 2023 meta-analysis in the Journal of Translational Medicine showed that probiotics lowered blood sugar and improved the way the body responds to insulin in people with type 2 diabetes. And when your blood sugar's under better control, it's a whole lot easier to keep your blood pressure in a healthy range. And third, probiotics support your gut health. When your gut lining is stronger, fewer toxins leak into your bloodstream, and that helps cut down on inflammation. Since inflammation is linked to higher blood pressure, this gut effect might play a role too. In fact, some studies show that probiotics can strengthen the gut barrier and help lower inflammation. And with lower inflammation, your heart and blood pressure are better protected. So, which probiotics seem to work best for blood pressure? Most of the research points to Lactobacillus strains. Take Lactobacillus plantarum, for example. It has some of the strongest evidence. A meta-analysis published on PubMed with more than 600 participants found it lowered systolic blood pressure by about 1.6 and diastolic by nearly 1 point. That may sound like a small drop, but according to the American Heart Association, even a 2-point reduction in blood pressure can lower the risk of heart disease and stroke across a whole population. Another one is Lactobacillus helveticus, which has been studied mostly in fermented milk. Some trials suggest it can help reduce blood pressure, likely because it produces special peptides that relax blood vessels. But the results haven't always been consistent, so the evidence is more mixed compared to plantarum. And here's something important. Dosage really matters. The American Heart Association notes that benefits were mainly seen when probiotics contained at least 1 billion CFU, and many experts recommend looking for supplements with 5 billion or more. CFU stands for colony-forming units, basically the count of live, active bacteria in each serving. And probiotics have come a long way, from aiding digestion to even supporting weight management. And now, research shows they may also play a role in lowering blood pressure. The key is choosing the right strains, in the right doses, and sticking with them over time. That's when the real benefits start to show. Of course, probiotics aren't meant to replace your prescribed treatment, but they can be a great addition to help keep your blood pressure in check, especially when paired with a healthy lifestyle. So if you're already taking probiotics, we'd love to hear about your experience. Has it made a difference for you? Share it with us in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Blood Pressure Healthcare for more tips on managing and maintaining healthy blood pressure. Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.